where the wrestling truth resides.
That's what it
Did you
is.
see that our Impulse debut was a year ago, like 3 days ago or some shit?
Yeah, for the Autumn Moon Moon Festival, was that it? Yeah,
I think
that was
that's what it was
cool.
called.
That was a good show. That was fun.
Do you
Where
have
we
the
showed
match?
up. Good?
No, Monty's the only one that had the footage of it, and he never sent it to me or uploaded it anywhere from what I found.
Monty.
I
Was
gonna
that not?
say-
Was that show not recorded? No, Obro never recorded the show. That's right.
No,
Yeah.
Monty was the only person with the footage to that.
That was So, funny story about that show. So Levi and I are driving down, and it's only supposed to be like I think it's supposed to be a 5-hour drive, and there was an accident every 30 freaking feet. I'm not even kidding. Like literally, I'm watching my GPS go red and adding time on every time. Like seriously, red time.
Like we were like us driving.
Worse. And I'm sitting there going, "Oh my god, we're never gonna get there." The worst part is I had my laptop, so I'm supposed to be running sound. And we left with plenty of time, but we hit so much traffic. We get there, I sit down, I flip my laptop open. Luckily, I had most everyone's music set. The only person I didn't have was Kennedy. I feel bad for her, but I gave her a ghost song, and she was perfectly happy with that. And so I think it was Obro's mom was running the music while we were in the ring, and she goes to play the music for the neighborhood, and their music doesn't play. It doesn't play. Levi and I are already in the ring. So we're just sitting there like, shit, what do we do? And I look at the ring announcer, I'm like, give me the mic. So I grab the mic from him, and I just start cutting like a classic like shit heel promo about how this town sucks, how the traffic getting here sucked. This place is awful. We hate it. The crowd was like about to kill me. Then the neighborhood's music hit. We had a pretty fun match. So
That's dope.
That was the birth of mayhem.
Yeah.
Because we were so fucking tired.
Yeah. Driving home, there's a car that said plate said mayhem, and I'm like, mayhem. And Levi goes,
so
fuck?
Speaking of driving home,
for some reason.
Speaking of driving home, fucking, I'm driving. I'm wide awake because like I'm hot because I'm waiting to get paid, and two, like I'm just fucking doing the shit. Fucking Nix is next to me, and he's doing everything he can to fucking stay awake. I'm like popping up videos for him to watch, fucking TikToks, and he's just dozing here.
I was struggling. I really tried, man. I did really try.
I just looked at him like, buddy, you could just go to sleep if you need to. It's fine. It's really fine. He goes, you sure? I'm like, yeah, buddy, just take a nap. He goes, okay. Like immediately out.
I was already probably half asleep when you said that. My brain went, cool, off.
That's how I used to be. When we take rides, I'd keep myself awake till I literally couldn't. Like I can't count the amount of times on car rides home that the next thing I knew we're like 45 minutes further than we were when I last opened my eyes, because I would stay awake and do whatever I could all the way up until I literally couldn't, and then I would close my eyes and then open my eyes again. But it'd have been like 45 minutes. So, it was always towards the back stretch where get almost to the bridge coming out of New Hampshire, and then I'd close my eyes and I'd reopen my eyes to us almost in Kennebunk, to you dropping me off, because I knew that stretch of road. So I'd be like, we'd go over the bridge, and then I'd close my eyes, and I opened my eyes. It felt like like I blinked, and we were 45 minutes further down the road and almost at the Kennebunk drop off. And I was like, shit. It's like, fuck, I just went to sleep for 45 minutes.
My favorite one's the one where you drove home for part of from NCW for part of it. And I sat in the back seat and I dozed a bit, and freaking Maverick's in the front seat. Maverick's out like the instant he gets in the car.
That's right. Oh my god!
Instant he got in the car.
I forgot I drove that. That's right, because both you jackasses fell asleep, and
he's a terrible fucking passenger princess.
I love Maverick, but man, he's out like a light once he's in the car.
I remember that. I figured out how your fucking radio worked. Just started skipping through songs, and there were epic rap battles, and then there was fucking Taylor Swift, and then there was fucking hard rock, and I was like, the fuck is this playlist?
It was just my music. I just had it on random. So.
We're driving back from Crown of Maine, and we're like, we're fucking tired, so we're in the back. Maverick's in the front seat, Eric, before we start, he goes, "You're gonna stay awake this whole trip to make sure I stay awake." He goes, "Oh yeah, I got you."
Dude,
Immediately going
I
down the
gotcha.
road, we're fucking out.
dude.
I wake up to we're in Orr now, and he goes, "Thanks, motherfuckers." They're like everybody fell asleep on me, and we were just like we're in the back seat, we're allowed to fall asleep.
That trip was so unironically fun, but at the same time, oh my god, when I woke up from that, I think I bought 2 water bottles at that fucking gas station that we stopped to top off at because Eric smokes cigars.
Yes.
And even though he had his window and shit open, everybody fell asleep, and when I woke up, I could fucking tell Eric had been chain smoking to keep himself awake because Maverick had fallen asleep. So I bought 2 fucking water bottles and chugged them both before we left that gas station because my throat was on fire.
So
it was
bad.
So dry.
What show was that? Was that the one they fought Eric for the? Yeah. But was that the one I fought?
No, that was the
that
tag
was
team.
that was when we fought Hyper Poutine and Cat fought Eric.
Yeah.
That was the round show that we got up there before you got up there, even though you left before us, and we stopped at Island Falls because the Island Falls show was the very next week. The one that we faced.
I think I had to stop and do something. That's why. I can't remember.
You were visiting family, I think is what you were doing.
Oh, that may have been it too.
Oh, maybe. It was because we left after you. We were farther south than you, and we stopped off in Island Falls, and we still made it to Crown before you did.
I wasn't worried about it. So Crown's already set up when we get there. So
dude,
you gotta love Crown of Maine.
Yeah, Eric, seriously, fucking big ass cigar, and he'll just sit there and smoke it, and then once that's done, he goes, "Okay," and grabs another one.
Maverick passed out. And Eric was giving us all shit, and me and Kat were both like, dude, we were in the back seat. We're allowed to fucking sleep.
That's part of the rules, man.
Remember,
Maverick took the fucking front seat. That's on Maverick to stay awake. We're allowed to sleep. Don't fucking bitch at us for it.
Right? Remember the struggle I had to put the fucking seatbelt on in that car? I'm just fiddling I'm like Levi, I'm like, what? He's like, I'm like, help. I can't do this. It's like, geez, you're that fat. I'm like, no, these belts are fucking so small. So literally he had to pick
you've ever seen the picture, there is a picture of me and Kat, because that was also the show that JP and Maverick faced off in a hardcore match. So there's a picture of me and Kat in a car, and we're both flipping the camera off, but we're like this, and there's a pile of shit in between us. And there's like a guitar and like a bunch of suitcases because we packed shit full. But me and Kat had about this much square footage apiece in the back seat. So Kat was like, can't get the seatbelts.
I can't. And then every single time I get close and fucking lock, and then Eric's like, do you need an extender? I'm like, yes, thank you. He hands it to me. Doesn't fucking fit. It didn't fucking fit.
You sat there trying to get the extender to clip in, and I didn't clip in, so you were like, fuck it, and you just threw it on the floor and then started working on your seatbelt again.
It was funny, we stopped, does anyone need to pee? I'm like, dude, I cannot get out because I will not be able to get back in this fucking car.
Dude, I love that the podcast has evolved in us just telling your own stories now. So
they're fun.
Oh my god,
I can't wait to do a fucking go with Dad, do some shit with Dad.
Oh my god, Ben's road stories are, oh my god. I don't, did I ever tell you, I told you guys the monster story, but I don't think I've ever told it on air. And so I'm going down to NCW with Ben, and we're cruising down. It's just me and him in the car, right? I just bought a monster. I think it was a Monster Gold.
Yes.
I told you guys the story. I know I've told you guys, but it's a great story. So we're going, Ben just bought this car. It's not brand new, but it's a Nissan Sentra. It's a nice car. He just got it 3 days before. I think he just put everything on it. We're cruising down, and this car cuts us off. And I mean by this much cuts us off, 3-4 inches. Ben goes nuclear in about 3 seconds. But he's like, God damn it, fuck. It's swearing up, down, left, right, center. He looks down, he sees my boss, he's like, I'll buy you a new one. He grabs it, we fly by this car, and he whips it out the window back at them. He missed by a country mile. But it was more of a symbolic thing. And I'm like, I'm in the passenger seat crying because I'm laughing so hard because it's a bed rant. And I'm like sitting there going, dude, what the hell? He's like, what are they gonna do? Call the police? What? Two bald guys with beards? We look like 3/4 of the state.
Oh, there's some road stories.
Crying. I was laughing so damn hard.
There's some road stories too that I wish we could tell, but we can't because of legal reasons. Like the one where you're driving home with Ben and you thought there was a cop.
Oh my god, yes. That was the same night we're driving home and an owl swooped over the hood of my car. And Ben and I are like, the fuck was that? it was big too.
Do you remember the gas station that we stopped at right after the NCW show, the one that was in that really fucking weird like intersection thing, and I was the one driving. Yeah. So I was like, how the fuck do I get out of here? But
out to the right.
that fucking gas station, do you remember how we thought it was gonna get robbed? Because of that dude.
Yeah.
Like there was some dude definitely on something. But this dude, like the gas station attendant, like was yelling at him to get out of the store. Then he left the store, but he like went around the back of the store. And me, Maverick, and Dylan's gassing up, and me and Maverick walked inside, and me and Maverick both were kind of looking at each other. And I was like, "This is gonna get fucking robbed. This gas station's gonna get fucking robbed while we're right here at this show." Yeah. I was like, "This gas station's gonna get fucking robbed."
I was in New Hampshire fueling up. And I fucking went inside, paid. I came back out, and the woman next to me, somebody jumped into her car and took off with it.
I've been like,
yeah. Yeah.
I've stopped at some pretty sketchy gas stations.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, they're oh my god. Actually, the worst road story I ever had, I had to ride home with Beavis once. And it was from a Skips show. And Randy's like, can you give Beavis a ride home? And I'm like, I guess. So we're going, and actually, I will give Beavis credit. I will give him credit on a couple situations. He gave me money for gas, and when we stopped for gas, he paid for my drinks. So you know what? That's cool. That's a good car ride guy. You know, not bad. The problem was he told me to take a right onto a back street to take the left to go up to the highway. When I took the right, I hit a fucking pothole, and when I hit this pothole, I blew a tire. At 11:30 at night on a Saturday.
I remember this.
Yeah.
Wasn't that the skip show that I came that I got
hang out, I think.
That I got dropped off? Yeah, isn't that the skip show that I got dropped off and Randy brought Beavis down, but I was going home with Randy? The only reason Randy had gone was to give me a ride because that was the skip show. That was the day before my going away party at the theater, whatever the fuck it was called.
Yeah.
Because Randy came down with Beavis
to
give him a ride, dropped Beavis off. I said hi and bye to everybody, and me and Randy took back off, and Randy was like, "Hey Dylan, can you give Beavis a ride home? Because I'm gonna take Levi back. I'm gonna take Levi back because we didn't feel like sitting there and hanging out. Because I didn't have my gear, so there was really no reason because I was hurting at the time, so I was taking some time off to heal. So there was like no reason for us to sit around and hang out. And Randy had already had other shit going on, so he was like, "Yeah, you want to he was like, when you get here, just say your hi byes and we're gonna leave." And I was like, "Cool." And then I remember we got home and we were all chilling, and you texted the group chat about blowing a tire, and I was like,
yeah. I was so
you took
mad.
Sam's car to the going away party the next day.
Yeah,
because took your fucking car and blown a tire,
dude. And I don't blame Beavis for this, but I'm just like, it was just a situation that it just happened with him in the car, and I'm like, so the worst part, I'm driving home, right? As I'm driving home, I'm sitting there like scrolling my phone. I'm looking for 24-hour tire places. I found one actually. There's a 24-hour tire place between Portland and Bangor. Fun fact, I don't remember what town it's in, but it's there. So I called them. And I was like, "Hey guys, you're open, right?" And they're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Cool. Do you have this tire?" I think I have it was a 225 5017. That's what's on my car. They're like, "No." I was like, "Son of a bitch." So I tried. So now what I want to do is put a full-size spare in my trunk.
You should.
Yeah.
I think
I got to put a fire extinguisher in my trunk because apparently everything catches on fire.
Apparently.
I think grind is probably
Yeah.
I think one of the grind trips is probably one of my favorites. The one that I took, I think it was my first grind show that I took with Scrutch, Donkey, and Randy. I think I told the story when Scrutch was on the pod when I fell asleep and the piece of ice came flying off of the U-Haul truck and smashed into Randy's car, and it sounded like a gunshot. So it sprung me awake, and Scrutch literally looked so fucking scared because of the way I jumped up, and he was like, "We're good. Something hit the car. We're good." And he's like in the seat next to me, and he's like, "We're good." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Okay.
No, I didn't go back to sleep. Fuck that shit.
Yeah.
But then we got to Portland, found out we didn't have a hotel. So we didn't have a hotel because somebody didn't follow up with cousin Larry about hotel because he worked in Portland in the hotel business. So it's like midnight, almost 1 a.m. We have a show the next day.
Was it Roadblock?
That's why that's why I had rode with them to grind because there was a show the next day and my mom was going to it. So it was one of those situations where Randy picked me up. I went home, I went to them to grind, and then we all stayed at a hotel, grabbed some breakfast, and went to the Fairfield show. But so we finally find a hotel. We all get in. We're all tired as fuck. I slept in a chair that night. We're all tired as fuck. Randy kept fucking with Scrutch. And actually, if Scrutch ends up finding us, I don't think Scrutch knows. I don't think we ever told Scrutch who it was.
Oh, boy.
So Scrutch is trying to get ready for bed, take a shower, brush his teeth, do whatever he's doing. And every time he walked into the bathroom, Randy stood up, ran over to the door, grabbed the ironing board, and stuck it in the bathroom door. So every time Scrutch opened the door, it came flying in. It came flying into him. After like we're all sitting there, and every time Randy stood up, I'd look up from my phone and just watch him and start laughing. Finally after the fourth time, Scrutch opens the door, falls in on him. He picks the fucking thing up and wields it like a chair and goes, "I swear to fuck, stop putting this in front of the door or I'm gonna hit all of you." And puts it in the closet and fucking goes to bed.
See, he's a lot nicer than I would have been, because what I would have done is picked it up with one hand, opened the door to the hallway, went, "Ugh," and closed the door.
Yeah, exactly. Was that
Stop fucking putting it behind the door.
Was that the same hotel that Donkey slept in the tub?
No.
Oh my god. I've done that at cons, to be fair. So we'll have 15 people in a room for convention, and we're all bed space, floor space, and I'm like, give me a couple pillows and a blanket. They're like, why? I'm like, I'm gonna sleep in the tub. So
no, Randy had one bed, and then I think Donkey and Ethan had the other bed because they were big ass beds. And then I slept on one of the chairs, the circle chairs that
you didn't want to sleep with Randy?
Rooms have. I just grabbed one of those chairs. I set it up so I could put my feet on the end of the bed, and then I don't even think I had a blanket. I'm pretty sure I took my jacket off and I just put my jacket over me, and I was like, fuck it. And I went to sleep for a couple hours.
I remember for an NCW show, it was me, Ben, and Jess. I rented a hotel room for us. And they're like, well, do you need a room with one bed or two? I'm like, well, 2 beds would be nice because, I'm sure Jess doesn't want to sleep between me and Ben. And we get there. It's got 2 nice beds, 2 full, and I'm like, Ben, you want a bed? He looks over. There's actually a full-size couch in the room, the He's like, I got the couch. Okay.
So fuck the bed.
Dude, he laid down and within 10 minutes he was snoring. He was like, what? He's like, yeah. I'm like, well, he's out. And the problem is I have a hard time sleeping in weird spots. So I'll go and I'll be awake. I'm one of those guys. I'm awake, I'm asleep. So literally I can hear Jess was out, Ben was out, and I'm sitting there going, I can't sleep. It's morning.
Oh, that sucks.
I'll never forget. It's not a road story, but I'll never forget the I want to say the 4 different times in my life that me and Kat have almost died driving on snow-covered roads, staying at a hotel, and we've almost fucking died going to Burger King Right.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
literally, like, the hotel's here and the Burger King is like here. So
It's
you
literally
you don't even have to pull out of the
15 feet
hotel
away.
parking lot. You just have to like go around. But I didn't feel like getting redressed. So I had my pajamas on, threw my boots on, stuffed my pajamas in. A cat's like, fuck it, we'll drive. And we walk out, and it had been snowing when we got there in the morning. And then it was snowing when we went to leave. So we got out there, and it's just covered. It's just a blanket, thick snow. So we clear off the car, and then we just slowly trek to Burger King in the car. And he goes to make a turn, and his car just goes, whoo! As we were turning into Burger King, and he was like, "We almost just died."
Yep, been there, done that.
Or the times of driving, I turn the wheel and the car's not turning; it's just still going
Dude,
straight.
that whole drive home, because that was, so we got there at night because we came from a show. That was the day you brought me all the way back home because my Yaris is out of commission. So we went from your house after a show, and then we drove.
Yeah,
but
because I had to do it
snowing.
overnight for work. Yeah.
Because you had to do an overnight, but it was snowing the whole time. So on the highway, it's just us in the pitch black, and
Oh my
all
God,
you see in
I
front of
remember
us
that.
is snow, and it's just whoop, whoop.
Yeah, that was terrifying.
Oh
I
my
remember
God.
that. I think we were going like 20 the whole time.
Called us like an hour and a half later, and it was literally like we went whoom, and then you were back on our own, and then your wife called us, and you like answered her, and you're like, "We almost just fucking died."
So this reminds me of a show. So it was a Raph show, one of Raph's shows that he ran. I can't remember the initials for it, but the show started
Pine State?
and what?
Pine State.
No, it wasn't Pine State. It was the one before that. So the
Yeah,
show, it was like APW or something like that. I can't remember. But anyway, the show starts. It was like it was only like my like 6th or 7th match too. It wasn't very far into my career. And we're there, and the first thing I'm in is a battle royal. So we do the battle royal, we do all this stuff, right? And intermission hits. So we're all out back in intermission. We're all just sitting out back in the locker room shooting the shit. And we come back out from intermission, like 3/4 of the crowd's gone. We're like, okay, the show hasn't been that bad so far. Ben opens the door and goes, ah, shit. I'm like, what? He's like, look. I open the door, and it snowed about 4 inches from the beginning of the show to the when we got to the building. It was a beautiful blue sky. It was cool. It was like probably in the 40s, but it was a gorgeous day. It started snowing at the beginning of the show and just dumped snow the entire time we're in there. So we go, we finish the show, we load the truck because it's the dojo ring. We load the truck. Ben's driving the U-Haul up, right? Ben's like doing 100. He doesn't care. I'm in my car and I'm doing like 20. I'm just like, I can't see hide or hair of anything on the highway. All I can see is 2 tire tracks. So I'm in the tire tracks going. That's also the show. I think that's the same one that Greenleaf went off the road in his car. So yeah, that was fun. That's almost as bad as the TIW story.
It always seems like Cat is the precipice for me, almost dying driving in snow.
Because I'm an unsafe worker.
Jesus
well,
Christ.
my first experience, I didn't even know you that well, but my first experience was when you were in that same hotel in Aurora, or wherever the fuck you were. And Auburn. I knew it started with an A. Wherever the fuck you were. And you were like, "Hey, you want to come do an interview on the podcast?" And I was like, fuck it. I've got today off. Fuck it, I'll go. So I got in my Yaris and I drove, but it had snowed and the roads were shit. So I got there pretty okay, and we did, we did the interview, and then I went to leave, and as I was leaving, there's a big fucking hill. So I took the Yaris down, and there's a light at the end of it, and I went, and the light turned yellow, and my Yaris didn't stop because of all the slush. So I'm going down the hill, and the light's yellow, and my Yaris doesn't stop. So I went, fuck it, and I just hit the gas, and my Yaris just went like this through the intersection on my way home because I was like, I gotta get through somehow.
Pray for Mojo.
That's like probably the same hill that we were like almost at. It's like, okay, the hotel is right there. We're almost there.
That's the exact hill.
And the fucking Rab was just
a year later. That's the exact hill. You started creeping down it. We had that same fucking problem where your Rab was just like, no.
Yeah,
actually,
you don't got him.
Yeah, no, we're not stopping.
This reminds me of so I went to pick up. We were going to a skip show in Buxton, and it snowed the night before, but the roads hadn't quite been all plowed yet, right? it was still kind of snowing a little bit, so everything was still slick and slushy. You know the hill by Family Dollar in Brewer, the one that goes from Brewer to Bangor, right up that hill.
Yeah.
So I go and I'm in my car and I'm like, as long as I don't have to stop, I'm fine. I hit the red light and I have to dead stop. I'm like, crap. So I go to start picking up speed. I hit halfway up the hill and I'm just I can't. I'm not moving. So I have to take the right down the freaking one way, the opposite direction, go into Family Dollar, turn around, go back out and go back down. And I had to go the long way up around the dojo and everything to get around for Eric to come pick us up in his van. I was
Shout
like,
out, since we're talking about weather-related things, shout out to everybody that loaded the steel cage in a fucking thunder and lightning storm.
oh my god, yes.
That's one of my core memories, you know, being like, oh, I'm gonna steel
was that
cage.
the Eric and BRG match?
Sure, fuck it. Oh no. This
no.
is before the steel cage got repaired. This is when the steel cage was transferred ownership to Larry, and it happened at a Fairfield show. And we were like, oh, you know, we could do the steel cage. Not that we all want to do it after getting the ring loaded up, but we fuck it.
Yeah.
Well, fuck it. Until we opened the back doors to load the ring up, and it was pouring.
Yeah.
It was pissing rain.
The rain wasn't the issue.
No, we loaded the ring up. It was fine. Then the steel cage got brought around. I swear to fuck, as soon as the steel cage rounded the corner, as soon as the trailer rounded the corner, boom!
Yeah, first lightning.
Huge fucking crack of lightning. And we all looked and we were like, oh, great. And so then we had to transfer but I think it was like me, Jess, I think Hess was there, Blade was there, and Dylan
Guy's gonna
was
ride
there.
the lightning tonight.
I was.
And we were all, I think JP and Maverick were both there too. And we were all like, oh, and Lee, of course. But we were all like, great, because as soon as we were touching all the giant pieces of fucking metal, the lightning and thunder decided it was gonna start.
I'm sitting there looking up. I'm like, did we anger the gods in some way?
Destroy this cage.
Between that and the Matt Muscle show that happened on my birthday. That wasn't thunder. That wasn't thunder and lightning, but that was when it was like pouring. I mean, probably one of the heaviest rainstorms we had gotten in like 3 years happened on my birthday 2 years ago at that Matt Muscle show. It was so fucking bad.
Was that the one where we were almost paralyzed? What's the name from the Mutts?
Yeah, because we weren't aware that his neck was that bad, and I gave him my fucking fireman carry neck breaker.
Yeah.
And luckily this happened to be one because he's such a tall dude. I did it and I didn't compensate for his height, so I actually hit him on like this in between the shoulder blades with it instead of on my hand, because when I hit it, I rest your neck in my hand. So I hit my hand on my leg and just roll you across. That's how I hit it. So it looks like I just drive your fucking neck in, but all you do is just hit my hand. But because he was so tall, I rested his neck in. But when I flipped him, he like over rotated and I just hit him square in the shoulder blades. And then like 2 weeks later, we found out he retired because he went to the doctor and found out his neck was like one fucking bump away from being broke. And I was like, oh, good. So if I'd hit him on the neck, there was a chance I could have snapped his fucking vertebrae.
Ugh.
It's a good thing I didn't hit him on the neck.
And that's one where Randy was also in a neck brace, and I hit him with a freaking Jossie's move there, the grab, smash him with the
snapmare driver.
Thank you. Yeah, that into the stairs.
No
that was the one. That was the one that Drake. That was the one that Drake Lovecraft had the entrance for the fucking show and was 3.5 hours fucking late to the show.
Oh yeah. We were all supposed to show up at 4. He shows up at 7:30. We're like,
the second half of the show got an entrance. So your match got an entrance. My match didn't.
Yeah, I didn't have a match on that show actually.
Yeah,
I did. That's right. I fought Dylan.
Yeah,
Dylan.
It was the battle of the Dylans.
Dylan Scott. Yeah, that's right.
Well,
he was there.
It was the battle because Dylan Scott's from actually my area. He's from Texas, I believe, and he was up in the East Coast for some reason.
He's family. He has family up here.
Yeah, so he was at the show, but they didn't have a fucking match for him, and Dylan didn't have a match because we didn't have a tag match. So they were like, "Fuck it, Dylan and Dylan."
No, my idea. It was my idea.
Fuck it, Dylan, Dylan. Like, we're working each other. Fuck it.
Yeah.
But they're both like Dylan Scott's probably 2 feet taller than than
He's not
Dylan
2 feet
is.
taller.
but-
He's about like 6 inches taller. I'll give him that.
But he's
taller than I am.
bald.
Yeah.
He's bald and cleanly shaven. It was literally like looking in a funhouse mirror. It was Dylan, and then Dylan.
Yeah. And it was a fun match, and definitely get some notes out of it. He's a good worker, so I get some good notes out of that. So
I honestly haven't watched that match back in a while.
I haven't either, honestly. So
I think I remember kicking him in the face.
but
I used to do that when you'd have singles matches anyway.
I have to say, my favorite. I think that was the same show. Yeah, because it was a battle royal where you and I are in the ring, and Elle's partner. What is her name? Is it Spike or something like that? I can't think of her name. But she comes out of the curtain because she's next. You and I are out there. We're like, doing Seawolf stuff. She comes out. You and I look at each other and go, no.
We were in a corner. We were in a corner and we like tossed the guy we were working out. And then we just like sat in the corner and she hit the ring and we just both looked at each other and we were like everybody was feeding to her and we were like, no. and then Sammy came out and we were like, no.
Definitely no. Yeah, City Chaos.
We were like, fuck no.